Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Nicola from Total Fit. Our focus today is on high intensity interval training. We will start with a lovely warm-up, move into our main session which comprises of 5 different exercises. We will be doing 30 seconds on, 15 seconds of active rest for 3 rounds through. We'll end our session with a lovely relaxing cool down and stretch. So please ensure you have a clear workout space, a bottle of water and a towel, and we will begin shortly. Now we are getting started in with that warm-up, starting with a jog. So nice and easy, raising those heels off the floor. Slowly raising the heart rate. Warming up our body. Preparing ourselves for the exercises ahead. And we'll be moving in to the next exercise, going into the shoulder rolls. So nice and easy, bring your shoulders up into the front and taking it up into the back, mobilizing that shoulder joint. Moving into those hip circles, so circling to one side, mobilizing the hip joint, and taking it to the opposite side. And we're stepping into that lunge with a twist. So you're alternating between legs. The leg that reaches front, the same hand reaches up for the chest opener. You can lower your back knee to the floor if you need to, that's okay. Going into the squat with a push and punch with a twist. So extending your knees in line with your toes as you go in for that squat, pushing forward. And as you come up, going into the twist with a punch. Work within your own range of motion. And we're done with our warm-up, starting into that main session. Going in for that reverse lunge with the front kick. Tapping your foot in front before you go in for that kick to modify anytime if you need to. The front knee tracks in line with those toes. The back knee is just hovering an inch off the floor. Using as much force as you can as you come up for those kicks. Keeping a soft bend in the knee throughout. We have a quick rest of 15 seconds before we transition on to the next leg. We're just moving to the opposite side. So going back into that reverse lunge again with the front kick on the opposite leg. Keeping your core engaged, really using that force as you come up for that kick. And a quick rest again before we move into our next exercise, which is a squat with a twist and a punch. Again, your knees track in line with those toes as you send your hips back there. You come up onto those toes, turning to one side, going in for that punch.
using as much force as you can as you come up for that punch, keeping that core nice and engaged. We're coming onto the floor for the next exercise, going into the spine butt kicks, maintaining a lengthened spine, keeping those wrists in line with the shoulders. Nice and easy, drawing those heels up towards your buttocks, keeping that core engaged, gazing slightly to a point in front of you. And we're moving into the next exercise, which is plank jacks. Coming into that plank again, jumping your feet apart, and nice and easy bringing it back to the center. If you want to take out the jump, you can just tap from side to side. And we're moving into the last exercise for this round, which is a push-up. So you can come onto that full push-up position there, or stay on your knees to modify, keeping that core nice and engaged, glutes and quads engaged as well. Slowly lower yourself down and using that force push up, maintaining a nice long spine throughout. Gazing slightly to a point in front of you. Now we're done with round 1. We'll be moving into round 2. So we're repeating these exercises again. Go in for that stretch if you need it. So we're starting up again into that reverse lunge with a front kick. You can go in for these modifications if you need to, so you can just tap your foot in front before you kick up. Some modifications for all the exercise if you need to take them on at any time. Try and challenge yourself, but it's okay if you need to take on the other modifications. And we're repeating the same exercise on the other leg. So have those few seconds of rest before we move into it again. The back knee just hovering slightly off the floor there. Just go as low as you can. If you can't get all the way low down, that's okay. Just challenge yourself, do the best you can. Going in for that squat with a punch and a twist. Really bracing that core there throughout. As you come up for the twist with a punch, using as much force as you can. And a quick rest. Coming onto that floor again for those plank butt kicks. Keeping those wrists in line with those shoulders. Coming onto those toes if you can. Drawing the heel up towards your glutes. It's okay if you just want to bring the heel and tap it towards the glutes. You can take on that modification if you need to, but just keep moving. And we are moving into the plank jacks. Coming onto that full plank position if you can. Jumping those feet apart and then bringing them back in. Keeping that core engaged throughout. You can modify by tapping from side to side. Anytime during this routine, if you need to take on the modifications, do so, but just try and challenge yourself and keep moving throughout. And going in for those push-ups. You can modify like I'm doing by staying on your knees, or you can come into that full plank position if you can to challenge yourself. And we are done with round 2. A quick rest before we move into our third and final round. So again, starting into this reverse lunges with a kick. And we repeat it on the other leg. This is our final round, so I want you to do your very best. Give all that you have left. I know you're beginning to get tired by now, but just try your very best. Keep pushing. Just have a few more exercises before we move into our cool down and stretch. And we are done with those. Moving into that squat with a twist and a punch. And begin. You can modify if you need to again. Not having to go all that low down. Even modifying the force on those punches if you need to. So taking it down a notch. And rest. Moving on to the floor. Coming into that plank position for those butt kicks. We have a tendency to raise our hips a bit higher than we should in this position, so really try to keep that core engaged. Try and keep a nice long plank as you draw those heels up towards your buttocks. a quick rest. We move into the next exercise shortly. So we're going into the plank jacks. Just a few more seconds to go. Keep doing it. You can take on the modification, remember, at any time if you need to, but just keep pushing yourself. And a quick rest, and we move into our last exercise shortly. So give it your all, whatever you have left. Take on the modification if you need to, but just keep at it. Really keeping that core nice and engaged there, glutes and quads engaged as you lower yourself down and coming up for that push-up. Maintaining that long spine. A few more seconds to go before we go into our rest. Well done. We're done with all our rounds now. Go in for that stretch if you need to. We'll soon be moving into a lovely cool down and relaxing stretch. So we want to keep moving, so just stepping from side to side, tapping the toes, crossing those arms one on top of each other. Nice and easy, just lowering the temperature slowly, bringing down that heart rate a bit. We're moving into the quad stretch. So if you need the support of the wall, place one hand on the wall for support. If not, just balancing, drawing one heel up towards your buttock, keeping your knees close together, pushing those hips forward, feeling the stretch in front of the thigh. And switching to the opposite side. Moving in for that hip flexor stretch, so stepping one foot back, placing your palms on your hips and pushing those hips forward. And taking one arm across the other for that deltoid stretch. Really stretching out those shoulders there. And switching to the opposite side. Sending the opposite leg back there, drawing those hips forward. One arm across the other again. Really feeling the stretch into those hip flexors and the shoulder. And release. Using a split stance here, we're going in for the chest stretch. Staying as close to the wall as you can for this. Bending at that elbow there, really feeling that stretch into those chest muscles. And switching to the opposite side. and release. Moving into that glute stretch. So placing the ankle of one leg above the knee, resting it on the thigh of the other leg. Really sitting back into that squat if you can, feeling the stretch into those glutes. You can rest your palms on the wall if you need to for support, but if you can balance, go ahead and do so. And switching to the opposite side. And release. Going in for that hamstring stretch. So reaching one foot forward, extending those toes up if you can, sitting back into those hips, feeling the stretch along the back of the front leg. If you want to enhance the stretch, go on and hold those toes. And release, switching to the opposite side. Really enjoy doing a longer cool down after an intense HIIT routine. And release. Moving in for the tricep stretch with a side bend. So grasping on to the opposite arm, little below that elbow if you can. Extending, bending on to one side, and switching to the opposite side. And release, going in for that back stretch there. So interlocking your fingers, arching that back, feeling the lovely stretch. And release, coming on for our final stretch, so coming on to the floor for that spinal twist. So bending that knee, crossing your foot over the other leg. One hand stays back and the opposite one reaches in front for that twist to enhance it a bit more. And gently release, repeat on the opposite side. Really feeling a lovely spinal twist there. And nice and easy release. And we are done with our entire workout. Well done, everyone.
Oh, that was quite an intense one again, wasn't it? I really enjoyed it though. I hope y'all enjoyed it as well. Please, if you like my videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel, turn on that bell notification for new videos. Until next time, stay happy as always and let's keep moving. So please stay tuned to my video. So please stay tuned.